I think some of the estimates are indeed sort of small c conservative, and I think that stems a lot with how the Congressional Budget Office has been projecting what they call potential GDP. They've revised it downward year after year after year. So the spending that it'll take to close the output gap that I was talking about, just it seems that it's been decreasing from year to year. So there's actually less stimulus spending in this budget than in the CPC's budgets in the past, and that's just because our aim is to fill the output gap, what CBO defines as the output gap. But there's reason to think that their downward revisions of potential GDP may be revising things downward too far. But to your broader point, just to talk about how this really isn't at all out of the political or policy mainstream, over 10 years on average, revenue would go up 2.94% in this budget compared to what it would be otherwise, and spending up 1.12% over what it would be otherwise. So really, it's not that much of a difference. In 2024, this budget shows that revenue would be 21.5% of GDP. That's certainly higher than it is today, but it's not some kind of historic outlier. In the year 2000, it was actually about 19.9%. So again, these aren't really outside of the mainstream at all. It's just sort of a correction, and it shows, how far our politics have sort of tilted to the right, and how far, every extra dollar of spending is looked askance at by Congress, by members of both parties. So really, this is outside of the historic mainstream, outside of the policy mainstream, and in some respects, like you were talking about, it does hew to some small c conservative ideas. That's exactly right.
Well, and it is, thanks for that clear explanation. And this speaks to me to one of the issues that I think, first of all, one of the reasons why everybody should urge their representatives with no question to vote about it, because this is such a mainstream and reasonable document. But a couple, you mentioned that it shows how our political dialogue has skewed so far to the right, and that's exactly right. Now, I make no apologies for the fact that I'm a leftist. That's who I am. Like it or not, the data and the analyses that I perform suggest to me left-leaning solutions are the best. Now, I wish the leftmost parameter or limit of the dialogue was a lot further to the left, frankly, than this budget. But given what's going on in Washington today, this should be the Democratic Party budget, and this should be the budget, in my opinion, that everybody gets on board with. This should be the compromise budget once the Democrats and Republicans get together. According to your own analysis, it reduces the debt to GDP ratio to 65.5% of GDP by 2024. I think that's buying into and certainly appeasing the deficit rhetoric and concerns of the right. So am I missing something?
No, I don't think you're missing something at all. I think that the deficit and debt note is an interesting one. It wasn't necessarily a goal of the CPC to reduce the debt to GDP ratio as much as they did, but more of a side effect of the policies that were involved. If they followed the roadmap of boosting spending as much as they want to, and then boosting revenue as much as CPC wants to, that's the net effect. Is that the deficit really does come down pretty quickly, and perhaps you're right. Maybe it's quicker than it even needs to be. I read an interview with Dean Baker where he made the exact same point. So on one hand, that wasn't necessarily CPC's mission to reduce the deficit and bring down the debt, but it certainly is part of this budget, and that's 100% right.